ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 3 of Ravenwood, a Monster Hearts 2 story. I am your humble host and technical producer, Mistress Winter. You can find me at gmistresswinter on Twitter and Instagram. I am delighted to have you all back with us. If you are returning, if you are new, then welcome. We love to have you. I am very excited for tonight's episode, and without much further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our amazing Mistress of Ceremonies, Abby Marie Carter.
Hello, everyone. As Winter just stated, I am Abby Marie Carter, and I will serve as your Mistress of Ceremonies for this campaign. If you want to get in touch with me, I am on Instagram at Abby_Marie_Carter. I am in the Discord as Abby Marie Carter. I probably won't be super talkative as I do have a game to run. And then I'm on the Mistress Winter's Court Discord at Abby Marie Carter. Yes, thank you all for being here tonight. If you're new, welcome. Let's introduce our cast, starting with Emma.
Oh, we're starting with me today. Hi, everybody. My name is Emma. I am a voice actress and TTRPG content creator, and I run the Tabletop Tailspinners Network, and I'm super excited to be back for this Monster Hearts campaign. And I am playing Mika the Infernal, before I forget to introduce my character.
It happens to the best of us. But thank you so much, Emma. We're super excited to have you. Let's go to Juicy next.
Hi, I'm Juicy Garland, a Boston area drag queen and super nerd. I am playing Bobby Gunderson, our sweet little muffin of a boy and werewolf. I am excited to see what mischief we get in tonight. You'll find me on Twitter at Juicy Garland.
Thank you so much, Juicy, and we're super excited to have you as well. Let's go over to Stouffer now. I think you're muted.
What about now? There we go. Hi, I'm Stouffer. I'm playing Amity. I will also be found on Mr. Winter's Discord.
Thank you so much, Stouffer. And last but certainly not least, Alex.
Hey everybody, my name's Alex. I'm playing Damon Fullerton, the ghost in this campaign, and you can find me in Mistress Winter's Discord under my character's name. And I'm super excited to get back into it. Not as much of a cliffhanger as episode 1, but still excited to advance the story. Get to learn a little bit more about the mystery, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we change that tonight. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I do know. I just can't tell any of you yet. But yes, thank you so much. Before we get into it, I will give a little recap of what happened in our last session. Our last session picked up right when our students found out that a dead body had been found. They all decided to follow the headmistress, Dr. Lila, to go see the said body. Two of them reached the lakeside where the body was. 2 of them were caught by Dr. Lila and sent back to the main campus. Bobby and Mika unfortunately got caught, but Damon and Amity were able to push forward a little. They were able to see that there was another professor there and a human police officer and a sheet on the ground covering what may have been a body. They also picked up on the fact that the professor was holding a raven feather. Amity was then caught by Dr. Lila and was subsequently invited to Dr. Lila's office that evening to have a talk. The 4 students then met up for dinner, and some prickly situations arose between Amity and Damon, Bobby and Amity, and also between Mika and her the entity she is attached to, Master Grimm. After that, everyone kind of retired to their own rooms. Amity went for their meeting with Dr. Lila. After a little bit of a run-in with their rival Rhapsody, Damon had an interaction with his roommate and saw a shadow following his roommate as he left the room. Mika had another run-in with Master Grimm, and then her sister promised to help her detach herself from Master Grimm. And Bobby had been invited to a party by Jonathan, and Jonathan showed up early to just spend time together, and some flirting and kissing ensued. And that's where we're going to pick up, actually, with Bobby and Jonathan. So where we last left off is Jonathan had kissed you.
Wow. That okay. That was nice.
Okay, I hope I'm not being too forward or anything. I just kind of been wanting to do that for a while.
No, I've been kind of wanting to do that too. I wouldn't mind doing that again.
Then let's do it. And he
Okay.
will lean in and kiss you again. And it will get a little. If you are reciprocating, he will definitely ramp it up a little.
Yeah. Bobby, I think, feeling a permission structure now. I think he's gonna go for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't know what the heck he's doing, but he's doing it.
Jonathan will notice that and essentially take the lead for you,
Okay.
realizing that you're a little inexperienced is all. He will keep kind of pulling away and just kind of checking in with you, but he was definitely going to continue to get things more and more heated. How far is Bobby going to let things go?
I think Bobby, as things get more heated, Bobby's actually going to lose a little bit of control. I think his teeth are going to get a little sharper. His fingers are going to grow claws a little bit. And it's just so close to the full moon, I think he's going to go as far as Jonathan is willing to take it.
Okay. Jonathan will be willing to go all the way.
Well, then there we go.
Yeah. So the two of you will. Before you really get into it, he will pull away and just like, if at any time you want to stop, just tell me, okay?
And I think at that moment, Bobby is breathing really heavy, and I think if Jonathan makes eye contact with him, he'll notice his eyes have changed, and they might have gone fully yellow. No. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. And he's gonna push Jonathan down.
Okay.
I wanna. Yeah.
Jonathan will be a little taken aback, but definitely is into it. Almost even more into it now than he was before.
Yeah, and Bobby's gonna literally rip his shirt off.
Jonathan will let you. However, as this is happening, your phone rings.
Oh.
Oh God. 1 minute. He's gonna look at his phone. Is it his mother?
It is his mother.
He's gonna hit the bitch button and silence the ring and just put it down.
Okay. All right.
Not right now. No. And then he's gonna go back to kissing Jonathan.
All right. Jonathan will continue to reciprocate, continue to kiss you back, and will start to initiate sex. And that is kind of where we will pan probably up to the wall for the moment between Bobby and Jonathan. You have a lovely, intimate time together. And this means that Bobby can initiate his sex move.
Excellent. And I will say, too, that there's a weird liberation in this for Bobby. He is uncharacteristically aggressive.
Okay.
And he leaves a few marks in the process.
Okay.
But his sex move, which for those in the audience who don't know, this game has sex moves. And
Yes.
for a werewolf, the sex move for Bobby is that when he has sex with someone, he establishes a deep spiritual connection with them. Until either of them breaks that spiritual connection by having sex with someone else, I get to add 1 to all rolls made to defend them. I can tell when that either of us can tell when that connection has been broken, I believe. Or is it just me? How are we interpreting that one? It says you can tell when that connection has been broken, but I've been reading that as it goes both ways, but I don't know.
Well, let me pull it up, because I didn't have it pulled up before. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
The werewolf. Here we go.
It could just be one way, but earlier I read that ambiguously, but now I'm not sure.
If I'm reading it just the way it's written, my interpretation is that it is just you that can tell when it's broken. So obviously, if you have sex with someone else, you will know that it's going to break that connection.
Well, yes, yeah.
And if Jonathan were to go and have sex with someone else,
I would know he has broken it, and that's it.
You would know that the connection, and you would know that he has broken that connection.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And also, too, I think, not only does he maybe leave a couple of marks, but I think he's going to invite Jonathan to leave a couple marks.
Jonathan will indulge in that once you give him permission to. As you get more aggressive, Jonathan definitely backs off and lets you be more aggressive, and maybe not so much take the lead, because Jonathan knows that you're inexperienced.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still going to be guiding you, but definitely letting you take the more aggressive role in this situation between the two of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for the first time in his life, Bobby isn't really worried about control.
Jonathan will definitely encourage that. He definitely seems to be into it. And once y'all have finished, he'll kind of be laying with you. And take a breath, trying to catch his breath clearly, and just, maybe we should skip that party.
You know, I don't mind. That was nice. Yeah. You want to go again?
I might need a minute to recover, but...
Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes.
Okay.
That was fun. Oh, gosh.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've ever seen you take control like that.
I'm not used to, just letting go, so that was fun.
Maybe you should do it more often.
Maybe.
Just, let yourself go.
It's easy if you're there. I'll let you know that.
Well, I guess I'll just have to be around more often.
I guess so, huh?
And he will kiss you again.
And I'll kiss him back. Sweetly.
And that is where we will once again leave Bobby and Jonathan in order for them to enjoy the aftermath of what they just did together. Maybe go for a round 2. That's up to them.
Or 3.
Or 3, you know. It's up to them, totally. But yes. From there, we will move and pick up with Amity. So, Amity, you have just essentially been steered back into Dr. Lila's office after your run-in, and Professor Orpheus kind of berating you about what you were doing
Right.
and running from, and but Dr. Lila has taken you into her office and had you sit down. She comes around her desk and sits down in front of you and just kind of looks at you for a moment.
Amity doesn't like to sit on chairs, so she does the crouch with her feet on the sitting part and just like kind of holds her legs.
Dr. Lila is not really fazed by this. Seems kind of amused by it is all. Behind her, Amity, you will notice that kind of in the corner of her office, still in an obvious place, but it's just behind her, there is this like wooden stand with a sculpture on top of it. It's made of some type of metal, maybe bronze, you're not really sure, but it's of clearly a fae woman holding a child in their arms. You can't quite make out what the child looks like. They don't seem quite fae to you, but also you can't get a really good look at the statue. But that is behind Dr. Lila, and you would notice it. Amity, darling, how are classes going? Are you making friends? How are you doing?
If there is like a fae equivalent to shrugging, I don't know if that would be anything too bizarre, but Amity would shrug and classes are good. I do like learning about humans and mortals, and it's all very interesting. Amity will not look at the doctor at first, at least. So, kind of keeping her eyes not really wandering, but kind of distant. And
Dr.
then avoiding.
Lila. Sorry, go ahead.
And then avoiding the question of, have you made friends?
Dr. Lila will note both of these things. She's been doing this long enough, especially with fae. She kind of knows the signs, essentially. She'll just kind of stare at you for a few more minutes and just, I hope the project is going well for you, and maybe you'll be making some friends out of it. I certainly hope so. I know it can be lonely.
Good group. They all seem very eager to learn and to present the information. They helpful to have a werewolf on the group, or part of the group.
Yes, I'm sure having that first-hand experience is very helpful.
Amity has like a thought occur to her and actually makes eye contact with the doctor and says, why did no one participate in the ritual of the cup drinking?
I'm sorry, you'll have to explain to me what you mean.
I brought they try to describe really poorly a Starbucks coffee cup, the strange material cups for everyone to drink of, but no one wished to drink of them.
Did they have liquid in them?
That would have been too heavy.
Darling, mortals, usually to partake in the ritual that you're talking about, need liquid in the cups to actually partake.
Amity considers this silently.
So I'm sure they didn't mean any harm by it. They just... I'm sure most of them aren't used to dealing with Fae. Most people aren't.
Well, I still have to find a liquid then. Have to get new cups though.
Well, maybe the next time you meet with your group, you can maybe go to the coffee shop and order some coffees for your group and bring it. I know there's a lovely one just off campus, the Corvus Cup. Has anyone taken you there?
What is coffee?
You wouldn't know, would you? How to explain coffee? It's a liquid that mortals...
A liquid to go in cups?
Yes, exactly. A liquid to go in cups. It's a hot liquid, though. Dark brown hot liquid that has something called caffeine as a part of it, and mortals really like to drink it. It helps give them energy, keeps them awake, that sort of thing. So coffee shops are very, very popular as a result.
Human rituals are much more complex than I have given them credit for.
They can be very complicated. It took me many years to adjust to human rituals. I understand why you're struggling.
Well, you have given me much to think over. Amity will kind of like stand out of the chair.
Are you leaving so soon? I was hoping to talk to you a little longer.
About what?
Well, I suppose I was curious if you'd heard from the Fae back home that you know.
Not recently, no.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard that you come from the community that, Opus run?
Indeed.
I'm sure that was very lovely. I knew Opus once upon a time.
Amity kind of considers that. In what regard?
Oh, we were friends in our youths and just grew apart, I suppose.
You're claiming to be as old as Opus.
Well, looks can be deceiving. I've been around longer than you might think.
Amity will throw back up on the chair, and I see. I think she'd have like questions. I don't know if we want to go down that rabbit hole about like past history and stuff like that. So,
Dr. Lila will answer questions of what she knew of Opus when they were younger. Maybe telling a story or two. And kind of end it by saying, but that was a long time ago. I haven't seen or spoken to Opus in, well, I don't know how long.
I don't think she's changed much.
That's good to hear.
I see it now. You both have a lot in common. Caring for others, usually younger.
Yes, I suppose we do. Maybe that's why we used to get along so well.
Hmm.
You and I don't seem that different either. Both strangers to this world. I simply have had more time to adjust than you, but I remember how hard it was to adjust, to live here among mortals. It can be very difficult.
Vexing. They all seem so banal, and yet everything you do is hidden behind some, or blocked by some hidden form of procedure, or some unknown reason for discomfort, or very bizarre.
Mortal emotions and pleasantries and the like. It's very complicated, and it can be very, very hard to understand. I understand why you're struggling with it.
No comment.
What used to help me is thinking back on stories that I was told growing up. Different fae, myths, and legends, and stories of such. They brought a smile to my face when I was really struggling to adjust. Do you have any stories like that? Maybe that Opus or someone else told you?
I remember stories of Grimm, but none of them seem right. Taken me a while, but I feel like the world has moved on from those stories. Might have to find new ones.
Finding new stories is always an exciting endeavor.
Would there perhaps be a advantageous place to begin looking?
The library is a good place to start. Um,
I do like
I-
books. Probably the human invention worth the most.
I enjoy books myself. They're very interesting. I like reading how mortals see the world. It's also very interesting to read books they write about Fae. Most of them are completely incorrect, but it is amusing.
Yes. I suppose our stories aren't much more flattering about humans.
I would guess not. We probably get a lot of wrong as well, don't we?
Make very little sense.
As you continue to talk, Dr. Lila will continue to talk about stories. Dr. Lila will start giving you suggestions about some of her favorite mortal stories, particularly ones that have to do with different monstrosities. She mentions Dracula and things like that. But she gets up as she does this and is kind of just pacing, very not in a worried sense, just kind of wanting to move around behind her desk. And she ends up stopping in front of the statue. And she'll look at you and say, were you ever told the story of the Banished one? And I will ask you directly, Stouffer, has Amity ever heard this story?
I don't think so. Unless I'm assuming it's not a super common thing, right? Like, then I'd say no.
No, probably not the most common Fae story. Yeah.
Then no, yeah.
So when you say no, okay. So when you say no, Dr. Lila will be like, "Oh, it's a very interesting one. Would you like to hear it?"
I think Amity will lean forward, like on the balls of her feet on the chair, and then that's just a nod.
There was once this very powerful Fae woman. This is a long, long time ago when the old Fae courts were still at their prime, not only existed, but very much so still in charge of everything and at the prime of their power. It was a beautiful, powerful Fae woman. But she was unhappy with her life. She felt used by the other Fae around her, and she wanted something more. So she began studying things that were considered forbidden. She wanted to know more about the other realms that existed, wanted to know more about the human realm, the mortal realm. And then she discovered the demon realm, and she became transfixed by this realm. Was obsessed with the idea of contacting it. And finally, she did. She made contact with a demon noble. And she ended up becoming this demon noble's consort, and she fell madly, madly in love with him. But he was a demon, a noble, but still, the demon realm is not a nice place. He was using her, though she didn't know it. They ended up having a child together, though. This had never happened before, a Fae and a demon. A child of that sort had never existed before. And as a result, this child seemed to not be able to live in either the demon realm or the Fae realm. She feared for her child's life and went to a former friend and former lover of hers for help and assistance. Things had not ended on good terms between them. So instead of helping her, the lover, who was feeling scorned and also concerned for the safety of the Fae realm at large, went running to the old Fae courts to report what had happened. As a result, the old Fae courts found the Fae woman and exorcised the demon noble back to the demon realm. And then they took the child from her. She'll pause at this point and study you pretty intensely.
Amity is just very into the story, very enraptured.
Okay. They took her child from her. And they created, using all the power that they had, a brand new realm. A realm of darkness and shadow. A realm of loneliness, where just this child would exist, but the child would be able to survive there. But she was banished to the mortal realm, never to see the Fae realm or her child ever again. She was cursed to stay in the mortal realm for the rest of her existence. I had this piece commissioned, and she'll reference the sculpture. Because of that story, I feel a particular attachment to it. It's always been a favorite of mine, so I commissioned this piece to be done in honor of it.
That's a very sad story.
Not all stories have happy endings. Well, it's late. I suppose I should let you go.
Amity is very thoughtful. Just kind of nod at that. And then if they're getting ready to, they'll get up and like get ready to leave, and then turn back to the doctor and say, "What happened to the child? Are they still there in the realm of shadow?"
That the story doesn't say, and I suppose no one really knows.
Maybe
But
it's not a sad ending after all. Then
maybe. But as far as I know, the child is still, he's still in the Fey realm, or in the other realm, all by itself, alone. I'm truly surprised that Opus never told you the story. She knows it well.
perhaps she did when I was younger, and I
Maybe.
did not care to remember.
Memory is a fickle thing. You can't be expected to remember everything you hear. Though I hope this one sticks with you.
It will.
Have a good night, Amity.
Good night, Dr. Lila.
And she will allow you to leave her office. And as you walk out of the office, are you going somewhere or just heading back to your dorm?
I think that autopilot will take her to the dorm, but then they want to go to is it, how late is it? Is it late?
It's probably, you all had dinner together.
Yeah.
You met around 5.
If-
It's probably around
Honestly, it probably
8
doesn't
or
matter
9, maybe
too much.
10-ish at this point.
Okay. Amity will autopilot go back to their dorm, but then remember the idea they had, and then rush back to their dorm to gather up markers and some paper and stuff, and then with the goal of taking that to Mika.
Okay. Do you know where Mika lives? Do you know what dorm she lives in?
Probably not. But Amity's got the group chat, so they'd probably spend some time like looking around and just like expecting to find it. You know, like Mika's room should be like in neon letters somewhere, right? That just makes sense. And then eventually break down and text Mika.
Okay.
It'll be all capitals, and it'll be "Where are you?" without punctuation.
And at that point, I think following her reaction to the discovery she had about Master Grimm and her discussion with her sister, she would probably flinch a little bit at the flash of her phone buzzing and just pick it up, see that it's Amity, be like, oh, okay. And then be confused as to why Amity was texting her and just be like, in my dorm? Why?
Where is that?
We didn't name any of the halls. Mika doesn't even know where her own dorm is.
Yeah.
Riverside dorm is already taken.
I'm in. Wait, what one did you say, Alex?
Damon's in Riverside. I just wanted to throw that in.
That is exactly what I was about to say. Damn it.
Come on, people, be
I'm-
more creative. Totally kidding. Totally kidding.
I'm sure you
I'm in the Marshwood dorm.
can. Yeah. When Amity finally gets there, they will hold up the markers and paper and kind of take a beat, and then ask, "Will you help me design a poster for my presentation, or our presentation?" I think they would say.
And Mika will look at them and be like, sure. What are we putting on the poster?
Um, oh, oh, I was gonna say a wolf, but werewolf. That's the word. I couldn't think of the word where. If Bobby doesn't want to be a display dummy, I'm not sure what word actually Amity would use. Then I thought having some sort of diagram would be helpful.
Of course.
Pictures.
And I mean, no one really likes being put on display. Don't you
That
think?
you'll see like a epiphany moment for Amity there. Yes, of course. That would be, yes. No one likes that. You like to draw though, correct? Um,
I do.
Great. And then Amity will just try to like probably ramble on about like wildly unrealistic goals of like what you can do with marker and paper.
And I think as Amity's describing a lot of things, Mika would kind of realize that the tools that they have brought aren't necessarily conducive to what they want drawn on this poster. So they would kind of go over and grab some like charcoal pencils and actually make like a charcoal sketch in the center
Amity,
of the poster.
Amity will grab one and like examine it, like ask you really mundane questions like, what is this? Like, what's the difference between a pencil and a marker, and like some really basic kindergarten stuff.
Mhm. And Mika would happily answer, never necessarily thankful for the distraction from her wild evening. Will just sort of bury herself in the drawing. Still actively answering Amity's questions, but making
At
it unnecessarily detailed to continue that distraction.
for a while, Amity will kind of out of the blue ask, why did you leave the group so suddenly the other day?
And Mika will pause. Um. Oh, I told you guys I had another study group I had to run to. I just forgot that they were conflicting.
Amity looks at you for a long time, and then we'll just kind of go back to like whatever corner that they're drawing a sun in. I think they don't. It would be pretty obvious they don't believe you, but they
Okay.
aren't willing to. They aren't wanting to push it.
And Mika will think about it. Just pause. Look at Amity. Was it that obvious?
Felt like you left with more apprehension than just meeting other friends.
Well, sometimes certain projects carry more weight than others. And the people you're working with aren't always your friends.
That'll
Sometimes you don't know whether they're friends or enemies.
Amity will just nod priorities. Yes.
Mhm.
Have you ever had coffee?
Yes, it's not my favorite, but
Have you
I've
been to
had
a
it.
coffee shop?
Yeah, there's one across from campus, the Corvids Cup.
So I have been told I must see this place for myself.
You've
Kind of
never
like
been
a beat.
there.
No. There's like a beat, and then Amity will look to Mika and say, "Would you like to go?"
Yeah, we can go. I don't think they're open now, but we can go tomorrow. Or if you wanted, we could... Did you want that to be a group thing or an us thing?
I think that would surprise Amity, and then they'd give it way more thought than probably is necessary, and then say, "Do you think the others would appreciate this coffee?"
It's a pretty common drink. I'd say they wouldn't mind going for a cup.
Then we shall have to bring them in on the deal.
Sounds good. And Mika will reach for her phone and text into the group chat. Hey, are we meeting one more time before we present this week? Also, Amity wants to know if everyone's down to meet at the, it was Corvus Cup. I was like, is it Corvid's Cup or Corvus Cup?
Corvus.
Mhm. Does everyone want to meet at Corvus Cup for our next meeting?
All caps before, probably, unless someone's really on top of it, all caps will come after. I am buying the coffee.
Xander will respond, I'm down, especially if someone else is buying.
Ah, yes. Mika will just kind of like look at the phone like, I expected that.
All right. Well, while you wait for everyone else to respond and continue to have this very sweet friendship moment that is forming between the two of you, we will fade out on that and go to Damon. Damon, you have just been invited to a party by your roommate, who is a siren, who's already kind of drunk. He then insulted you a bit by calling you out for being a ghost. And then he left, and you saw a shadow of some sort seem to follow him.
So I think Damon, or I was trying to study and work on the presentation a little bit more as that was happening. But after seeing the shadow, I thought that going back to my work would get it out of my mind. I'd be able to focus, and I got a little bit more work done. But ultimately, I couldn't push it out of my mind. So when when we see Damon again, Damon is on his bed, lying on his back. He's got his Game Boy. He's because of course he has a Game Boy, and he's just playing games, listening to Halloweenies. He's just trying to, blank that out of his head. He doesn't want to think about it until tomorrow. But he's gaming away. He's listening to music. He's in his little zone.
Okay. The rest of the night and evening passes without much incident from you. You hear kind of your roommates coming, your like suite mates coming in and out. Some noise in the kitchen area. You hear Dominic's voice a couple times before you hear him. His voice, can't really make out what he's saying, and then you hear the door close, presumably behind him. It does seem to be around time for that party he was talking about, so presumably he's gone there. But for the most part, the evening passes without much incident for you. You do receive the text from Amity and Mika.
So my music blanks out for a little bit, and that kind of takes me out of my zone. So I check my phone to see what's going on, and I am still tense from the cafeteria experience with Amity, the whole butting heads that went on there, and so I hesitate a bit, sort of think like, okay, do I want to go to a coffee shop and spend time with Amity? And then I respond, what time are we thinking?
Coffee time.
And so I text back, does 10 work for everybody?
Xander sends a thumbs up.
Mika would also text back, sounds good to me.
Although I will say, if I'm remembering the things that I have set up for you all correctly, your humanities class is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So today is Wednesday. So you should have the humanities class the next day. Does anyone remember what time I said it was at? I know it's a morning class, but I have no idea what time I said.
Is it in the spreadsheet?
Is it?
No,
I'm
I do not see
remembering
it.
noon for some reason.
I don't remember.
Did we
In my
ever
head, it was
spend
like a
time
10 o'clock
before?
class, but that's just me
All right,
presuming.
we will say that the humanities class is at 10 o'clock. And
Okay.
I would also like to clarify that your presentation is due the following week on
Mhm.
that Tuesday.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you have a little more time.
Yeah,
Got
I'm
a
gonna
week
retcon a
long.
little bit. Instead
I
of
will
saying,
say,
yeah,
Go ahead.
instead of saying, does 10 work for everybody, he said, does 9 work for everybody before humanities class.
Sounds
And
good.
There's
Xander
no
will send
response from Bobby. There is none. Just
He's
making
having
sure
too much
everyone
fun with
understands.
Jonathan.
Which would definitely strike Mika as odd, because Bobby has been very active in the group chat up until this point.
Yeah, Damon gets the response from everybody, and it's like, okay, all right, coffee at 9 o'clock tomorrow. He puts his phone back down, and he doesn't go back to his game though. He just kind of listens to his music and looks out the window.
All right. We will. So you're looking out the window?
Yes.
So you are in the Riverside dorm.
Yes.
So some of the windows view the lake. Some of them view other places on main campus. You have a dorm that it has like a partial view, essentially. You get like the tail end of the lake and then, essentially forest and grass.
Mm-hmm. But like facing away from campus, not like towards main campus.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the people on the other side of the hallway. Sucks for them. They don't get a pretty
Yeah.
view. But you do.
They don't get to look at the forest and be all cool like me.
But you can still see the lights from campus, essentially. And they have lights around the lake because they know it's a spot that students frequent at all hours of the day, and Ravenwood does care about keeping their students safe. As you're looking, you don't really see anything. It's kind of dark. There's flickers of lights, shadows. And then all of a sudden, somewhere where you were looking, or had looked before, wasn't really anything there. Just inside the tree line. So the trees aren't very thick there. Something appears, feels like it appears almost out of the shadows. Now you don't know if it's a trick of the light or if you just didn't catch it the first time, but something appears. First, you may think it's an animal, but the longer you look at it, the more you realize whatever it is not moving.
I'd sort of rub my eyes and look at it again to see if that would change anything.
It is still there.
Okay.
And as you continue to stare, shadows almost seem to move away from it.
Like the shadows surrounding it.
It seemed to be very dark there when it first appeared. And then as the longer you look at it, and it's not like it's suddenly bathed in light or anything, but there's just less shadow at the longer you look at it. And at some point it just becomes normal and doesn't change anymore, but there is some shadow that seems to disappear from it.
How far away is it from the dorm building?
I'm so bad with measurements. I'm trying to think what an actual one would be.
Like half a football field?
Yeah, probably, roughly. Maybe a little closer than that, but yeah.
Close, okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to get closer to it to see what it is, or that's what I'm gonna do. So I take my earbuds out and put the Game Boy away and give it just a glance over my shoulder to, just to see if anybody needs me for any reason. And I just sort of, with the flying practice I've been doing, I sort of start to levitate and go through the wall towards this thing, just straight at the building.
All right. The closer you get to it, the less sense it seems to make. You can see things poking out, stretched out, but they are in odd shapes and sticking oddly out. You really can't make out what it is, and because it's dark, there are some, normal shadows being cast over it that make it hard for you to see until you're within about 30, 40 feet of it, maybe a little farther. And you can make out limbs of a person. They're gnarled, and it seems, I would like to say, before I continue, trigger warning to our audience for graphic descriptions of violence done to someone and body horror. If that bothers you, please feel free to step away and come back in about 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm sure we will have moved on by then. But please keep yourselves safe. You see limbs gnarled and twisted, as almost as if every bone in what you really see is an arm. Every bone seems to be broken in a different direction, and the skin is this unnatural graying that seems to have these just kind of streaks of black through it. The arm is twisted unnaturally across the body, almost reaching out to you. Do you get closer?
I keep getting
it's
closer.
Also blocking the face.
Oh, okay. I keep getting closer, and I reach for my phone to take a picture, and I panic for a second when it's not there, and I remember I left it on my bed.
Classic horror movie trope. I love it. I'm not gonna kill you yet.
Okay.
Kidding. I'm kidding. I have no intentions to kill any of you. If it
Yet.
happens, it happens. Okay. As you get closer, you're able to make out, the other arm twisted in another way. One of the legs like folded up under the body. Same brokenness, gnarled. The clothes that are on the body are torn, and seem to be also covered in that dark streaks. It almost seems like mud, but so much darker than that. There's an absence of blood, and as you examine the skin more, the closer you get, there are some wounds. Those streaks are open wounds that are just filled with this darkness, this shadow. As you get closer, you're able to see the face. It is disfigured, swollen in places. The jaw is completely broken. The hair is disheveled, missing in places, that sort of thing. However, the longer you stare at the body, the more familiar it seems. And you remember back to the description your RA gave to you of the missing boy, Carter, the missing student. And it hits you all of a sudden. The body you're staring at is Carter.
And I'm stunned. I'm caught between seeing what I'm seeing as real and that realization of who I've just found. So I'm staring at the body, trying to figure out, is this real or am I hallucinating? And the first thing that enters my mind is, what am I going to tell the RA?
I would like you to make a roll to keep your cool.
Okay. And this is cold, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, that's an 11 plus 2, so 13.
All right. You are cool as a cucumber. Death is not foreign to you. You have been dead for, 2 years or so now? Maybe even 3? This is not foreign to you. So while disturbing to most people, and certainly not something that you want to see, there's almost this familiarity to staring at this corpse, because it is also dead like you. So you are not unfazed, but you are able to overcome any fear that you may have.
Okay. I want to reach out and touch the really dark mud that you described earlier, just to see if that feels different, if somehow having it in my fingers, having it in my hand gives me some sort of insight as to what it is.
As you touch it, you realize it's more like a stain instead of something being caked on the clothing. And it seems to match the shadows that are in those wounds. And so as you touch it, it moves a little. Still stays on the shirt, but seems to move a little.
Okay.
Away from your fingers.
And that's sort of startling, as if it's still sentient somehow. And so after that, I'm gonna be okay, I've seen enough. So I'm gonna turn around and head back to my dorm to see if I can get in contact with the RA.
All right. So you head back to your dorm. Do you do the similar thing? Do you fly back in? Do you walk? Do you
Yeah,
go through the
definitely,
room?
definitely more rushed. Like, there's no, like, curiosity in my movement at all. It is just like I have a singular goal in mind. I gotta tell somebody about this.
All right. So you are looking for your RA or NRA?
Any RA, anyone really. And as this is happening, I'm trying to figure out, like, what am I gonna say? Like, who is gonna believe me? Like, what did I just see?
All right. You would know where your RA's room is. You would know where most RA's rooms are in your building, just because they always go over it.
And
There's
the RA's
two
name's
RAs.
Ad?
That's a great question. I can't find where I wrote it down.
I'm pretty sure it was Adam. Can't remember the last name, but it's like Adam something.
Or was it Alan?
Alan, yes. Alan
Alan.
Fletcher.
All right, we figured it out. I know I have it written down somewhere, but my notes are a little messy right now, so I apologize. Thanks for bearing with me, y'all.
Mhm.
Yes, Alan. So you would know that there's two RAs on your floor. Alan's your main one, because your dorm is closer to his. But if you didn't want to go to his room, you could probably find another RA at the other end of the hall.
Okay. I'm looking for Alan. Just because it's somebody
Alright.
that I've had a run in before, and he was talking with me about it, so he's the first person I think of.
Okay. You go to his room, knock on the door. You don't receive an answer at first.
I pound on the door.
You hear from inside, I'm coming, jeez. Alan opens the door. And he is disheveled, shirtless. You see, like, you can peek in and see into his room a little bit, and there's like a girl poking her head out. He's just like, what do you want?
David is now caught between what did I just see and what do I have to say, and what the hell did I just walk in on? And this is new. This is new for Damon. Damon like has never like walked in on his parents, like his sister, like nothing like that. So he's like, I saw, I found Carter, and I know
You
that sounds
found him.
crazy. I found him.
So he's okay? Where is he?
No, he's not. Can I show you?
He'll stare at you for a second. And then just, yeah, I guess it's my job, isn't it? He'll go back into his room. You'll hear kind of a muffled conversation between him and the girl's head that you saw sticking out. And he comes back out, pulling on a shirt, pulling on his shoes, and just like, this better not take too long. And close the door. And he
I
will
promise it won't.
gesture for you to lead the way.
And I lead him to where I'd found Carter's body.
When you arrive, there's nothing there.
And my first thought is, okay, what I saw wasn't real. And I'm sort of reeling in this, like, then who was that? Or what did I see? What did I experience? Was that a dream? Was that real? I'm not saying all of it, right? This is all in my head. And I turn, I turn to Alan, and I say the only thing I can think of was, It was right here.
Are you like high or drunk, man?
No. I haven't. I haven't had anything this evening. I saw Carter's body right here, and it was warped and twisted, and it had this gunk on it that was alive somehow. You gotta believe me, it was right here, and I'm like frantically gesturing at where the body was.
How close do you get to where the body was?
I'm like right next to it, like within at the same spot I was when I went to reach to touch the ooze.
Okay. Because you saw the body before, you will notice that there's the grass and the sticks and such, the leaves that were surrounding that area. There is kind of this imprint, as if something, a body, was there and is now not.
And it's as I notice this imprint, I'm like, that, look right here. I'm just vying as much as I can for Alan's attention. Like, I'm just like completely incomprehensible.
And Alan is just staring at you. Just like, have you been watching too many horror movies? I mean, I get it, it's October, man. Like, cool, you do you, but like, I think you're seeing things, man. Maybe you should like go see this school psychologist or counselor or therapist, something. So I believe that you believe that you saw Carter's body.
Yeah.
But there's nothing there, man.
But there was! And like Damon is like beyond logic and reasoning at this point. He's yeah, he's kind of going nuts.
Alan will try to calm you down and just like, okay, just breathe. Just or don't breathe. Fuck. Just calm down. Okay? It's okay. I believe you.
And him just saying that is like makes Damon visibly calmer.
All right. Alan's not doing a great job at hiding that he doesn't actually believe you. But in your frantic state, it probably still helps.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Let's go back inside. You just chill out, okay? And I'll go tell someone about what you saw, and when they might come and ask you about what you saw, and that'll be that. And you can just chill out. Okay, man?
And Damon is like robotically sort of like nodding his head as if like he's almost like visually taking in what Alan is saying, but he's thinking of his mind is somewhere else.
He will lead you back to the dorm room and kind of make sure that you get to your bed, essentially. He will walk you into your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And as he leaves, you'll just kind of hear him say, like, dude's fucking nuts, as he walks away and leaves your dorm.
And yeah, I'm gonna sit on my bed and try to recreate the image of Carter's body in my head without much success.
And that's where we will leave you on that traumatic note. Bobby, do you and Jonathan decide to go to the party, or do you decide to just stay in your dorm room?
You're muted.
there is nothing Bobby would like less than going to that party, and there is nothing Bobby would like more than staying in with Jonathan.
All right. Then that is how you two spend your evening and into your night.
Excellent. And I do want to be clear because I realized didn't think I was clear earlier. Bobby is definitely assertive, but this boy is not a top.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I figured,
Good
but just for the audience sake, just in case anyone out there is confused here, this boy is not a top. No.
Jonathan lets you be on top because
Oh
that's
yeah,
what you seem to want.
but he is not
But
a top. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jonathan
Good. I'm
is
glad we
definitely
cleared that.
still in control. He's letting you be more aggressive. He's letting you be more assertive when you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But Jonathan also clearly knows that you don't know what you're doing, and
Oh
that
yeah. No.
you,
Bless his
so
heart.
bless his heart. All right, so we will leave Bobby and Jonathan to spend their night together.
Round 3. And I think, because he did say he was gonna call Damon. I think there's going to be a point where Jonathan has to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I think Bobby is probably going to remember he said he'd call, but he's been so afraid to look at his phone that he's not going to, and he's going to go to sleep.
Okay. Damon, I will leave it up to you whether or not you realize that Bobby doesn't call you after having said that he would. After your experience, maybe you don't, or maybe you do because you're left to your thoughts. I will leave that up to you.
I think I forget that Bobby even said that he was going to call me with
All
the
right.
experience.
All right. Well, Bobby and Jonathan spend their night together. Damon, you spend your night ruminating on what's going on as you're thinking back to trying to recreate the body in your head, what you saw. You're trying to put these details together, what you remember. You get flashes and not much else. In one instance, however, you're thinking about when you went and touched that substance, that stain, or whatever it was. And now that you're thinking about it, you're able to kind of look at the situation as a whole, notice what other things you might have seen. The twisted arm, bones jutting out, the distinct lack of blood in these gaping wounds that are covering the body. And you remember, tucked underneath the arm closest to where you touched the stain, there was something poking out. You think really, really hard on it, and you're able to realize that it was a feather. That's the only thing you're able to come up with to remember at all that's new the rest of the night. And we will leave you to ruminate on those details for the rest of the night. I will also note that your roommate, Dominic, does not come home that night. He did say he was going to a party. He isn't known to come home every single night. But you did see what you just saw.
Yeah. I don't think my mind is even on Dominic. Just
That's very fair.
trying to piece together, and it is comforting to remember and be able to recollect that there was a feather there, that it's like it almost makes that real to me and make me feel as if what I saw was real and I wasn't hallucinating. But yeah, I'm bending every mental effort just to try to put this picture of Carter back together.
All right. Mika and Amity, you two work later into the evening, into the night, I assume. Is there anything either of you would like to do, discuss before you part ways for the night?
I don't think there's anything that Mika would necessarily have for Amity, but she would leave them with, once like it started getting really late, Mika realized that she does have classes tomorrow, and they did state that they were meeting before humanities class, which would be her first class. She would say, I know you don't necessarily know where Corvus Cup is. If you want to meet outside the dorm room, I can show you where it is. How early would you want
to? That'll take Amity back a little bit and to think about their answer. So after like a moment, does it take long to get there?
Not really. It's like a 5-minute walk.
Then I suppose 10 minutes before we are supposed to meet there.
Okay.
I can have coffee ready for everyone.
Absolutely. Then
I
will see you then.
As Amity is like collecting all the stuff to go, like once they get to the door, Amity will be really awkward and just kind of quiet for a little bit, trying to get something out, and eventually Amity will just, thank you.
You're welcome, Amity.
And then they'll just leave.
And Mika's trying to think about what little she knows about Faye, and is like, how often is it that they say thank you? I don't think I've ever heard them say thank you. And just like thinking these things as she turns around and moves back to her dorm.
All right. Well, the two of you part ways for the evening with promises to meet up in the morning. You still haven't received any type of response from Bobby, but also that doesn't really concern any of you, because knowing Bobby, he'll probably be there, and he just hasn't gotten around to responding.
Probably went to bed real early, damn Midwesterners.
Or
Yeah,
he got
probably.
murdered.
That's the next body you find. No kidding.
Those are the only two possible explanations.
He doesn't have a boy in his bed. Goodness, no.
That would be ridiculous.
Not Bobby. Mika, do you get ready for bed? Do you do anything else in the evening?
Mika would very purposefully ignore the notebook.
Okay.
Get ready for bed. And prepare to go to sleep. She would have...
The notebook is silent.
Mm.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think she would have... Almost like you would see someone pick up, like... if they found, like, a bug in their room that they didn't want to squish, but they were trying to move somewhere else. She would have, like, picked it up with... as weird as it sounds, like a tissue or something, just to, like, her thought process in that panicked moment before being distracted by Amity would have been more along the lines of like, I don't want him to know that I am touching the notebook, that I'm interacting with it, and that I don't want to speak to him. So she would pick it up with like a tissue and move it onto her desk and leave it there.
Okay. The notebook stays still and silent. Since you closed it and threw it, it has not moved. It is not. Nothing has happened with it. Master Grimm seems to be leaving you alone. You get into bed. Trish said she was going out to a party and was probably going to go check on Tori as well. So you don't expect Trish back until late. I'm assuming you go to sleep?
Yeah. But now that Mika has thought about it, the thought of Carter's girlfriend would keep her up for a little bit, knowing what they know.
Okay.
And thinking, oh gosh, how long are we going to keep this secret when he has a girlfriend that deserves to know that she's going to be mourning soon? Like, just very morbid thoughts that she didn't necessarily expect to come from a very simple fact of Trish telling her that she was going to go check on her.
Right.
That would keep her up a little later than usual before she went to sleep.
All right. You're finally able to calm your racing thoughts. The guilt, the stress, the anxiety, the fear finally gives way to sleep. As soon as you hit that deep sleep, your dreamscape changes to one of shadows. The one that you are familiar with in meeting with Master Grimm. It's a little different this time. Almost if it's lighter. You're familiar with this sometimes. Sometimes it's darker, sometimes it's lighter. And Master Grimm appears before you, but he's keeping his distance. It's an uncharacteristic wariness almost to him towards you. And he will stand there and turn his face ever so slightly, and you can catch his eye, and he's clearly intently looking at you, not glaring, there doesn't seem to be malice at this time. He's just kind of intently studying you.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, Mika wouldn't be able to hide the shaking that starts again after how extreme of a panic attack she had over the realization of the implications of that feather. It would start as an automatic response, nothing that she could control, and honestly nothing that she would notice as she sort of took that energy into going through the motions, and would bow to him once more and just be like, Master Grimm?
Before we continue, I'd like to ask you a question, Emma.
Okay.
Has Grimm ever touched Mika besides the gripping that he did, I think during the first session, maybe last session? I can't remember entirely. The first session. Gripping you in a very intense and not positive way. Has Grimm ever touched Mika, given her a pat on the back, a pat on the head, touch her shoulder in a nicer way.
I don't think touch is something that's common between the two of them. A lot of their interactions to this point have been based on the transaction that was brokered. And so I think, like, at points there would have been, like, handshakes, agreements, things of that nature. But I don't think that the way he's ever praised her has been through touch. It's been more through words.
Okay. Grim will nod to you, gesture for you to come out of your bow. He'll take a step or two forward and just, I have frightened you, child.
A lot has happened, Master Grimm. And the feather was unexpected. What is it? And for a moment, Mika sort of lets her voice and her posture get a little sterner than she's ever really let herself. Because he does terrify her, especially after that previous conversation that they'd had. But now she's realizing that he does still need her in some aspect. And if anything is going to continue, especially if he's going to invade her dreams, then she wants answers.
He'll notice the change in you. He seems a bit unfazed. He takes a couple more steps towards you. And as he does, he lets some of the shadows fade a little that usually surround him. You can tell he wears suits, but they're usually, wrapped in these shadows. And a bit of flame as well, but mainly shadows. He lets the shadows go a little bit, fade. And you can see kind of along the cuffs of his suit, at various parts, the tie, things like that. There seem to be the feathers, like you saw. And he simply says, "It's a raven feather. What do you want to know about it?"
I'm more concerned about what it was doing near the body of a classmate.
Are you so sure it was a classmate?
What do you mean? He went missing and then they found his body.
Are you so sure that the body that was found is the body of your classmate?
I mean, I didn't see it, but my classmates did.
And they confirmed that it was your classmate's body? They saw that it was this classmate of yours?
And Mika starts to think, because she doesn't think that it was necessarily confirmed that anyone pulled up the sheet and looked, but she trusts that Damon and Amity had to have seen something that would confirm that it was Carter. And it's like, they seemed sure.
Perhaps they are mistaken. There is an entire town of mortals just outside your campus, after all.
You're saying that it was a mortal?
I am saying that you should consider all the possibilities, child.
That still doesn't answer the question of why your feather was there.
I have my reasons it was there. I assure you they don't concern you. Though I know what you must think of me. He'll continue to come closer, and as he says that, he will slowly reach out and place a hand gently on your shoulder.
Mika will flinch slightly at the touch and look up at him. And what do you think I think of you?
I am sure I don't know, but I seem to have frightened you. And I admit I've been harsh on you lately. I apologize. As Halloween approaches, I am anxious.
And I am working on it.
I know you are.
Sometimes things in the mortal realm take time.
And I am not used to that. And I don't do well with requests I make being ignored. However, I admit that the way I went about things was perhaps not the best. And I did not mean to frighten you in the way I did. And for that I am sorry. I have come to care for you in a way. And I enjoy the interactions we have in the sense that I give you things that you need and want, and you do the same for me. But I did not mean to frighten you. The feathers are mine, and I would like them back.
And there's a pause as Mika takes in everything that he's said, because I don't think that she's considered the idea of him keeping her around for anything more than the transactional part of their arrangement. And she looks back at him, being sort of pulled out of this realization by him coming back to the feather conversation. And she says, I accept your apology. And I do enjoy our time together as well. How many feathers are there? And if I might ask, why is it so important that you get them back?
They have a sentimental value to me. And I would like it if they were returned.
Okay.
There are 2 feathers that I would like back.
Do you remember where you left them? I only heard about one.
If you wait, I am sure you will learn of the location of the other.
Okay. I'll keep my eye out.
He will hesitate for a second. Clearly almost uncomfortable. And he will kind of give you an awkward hug and say, "You've done well." And then quickly pull away and just straighten up and I will leave you to your sleep now. And I will try to watch frightening you in the future.
Thank you, Master Grimm. Is there any way that it would be easier to communicate than the notebook? My classmates have started to notice.
He'll kind of think on it. And what he'll do is he will take one of the feathers from his cuff and pull it off. And he will hand it over to you. And he will say, "If you pull this out, I will know that you want to communicate, and I will do my best to come to you in a vision or dream as quickly as possible."
Understood. Thank you, Master Grimm. And she'll clutch the feather very delicately.
He will nod at you and then just turn his back and he'll walk. You'll watch him walk sort of into this void. And once he's fading from view, the darkness will disappear from you and you will be sent back to your own dreams and sent back to sleep. And that will be the end of that night. So morning comes. You all have agreed to meet at the Corvus Cup, except for Bobby. The 3 of you wake up alone. Your roommates, they are not there, that sort of thing. Damon, Dominic would not be there. Mika, Trish would be back. Amity, whoever you room with, would be there. Bobby, Jonathan is still in your bed when you awake.
Aw, shucks.
He has his arms wrapped around you, kind of draped over you, as he is still asleep.
I think Bobby will slowly extricate himself from the arm, and he'll get out of bed and oh god, oh no, look at his phone. How many messages are from Mom? And how bad are they?
You have probably around 20-something messages from your mother, just in varying degrees of, why aren't you calling me? Are you okay, sweetheart? I just need to know if you're okay. Until it finally gets to this point of like, you're in college. I should leave you alone. I'm sure you're just having fun or working on schoolwork or playing with friends. I'm so sorry. I love you. Just text your mother, please. You do have about 5 missed calls from her and 1 voicemail that is freaking out, but those were all left before the text messages started.
Oh, okay.
And you
Right.
have the text messages from the group.
Oh, that's cool. But Amity wanted. What the heck? Oh shit! I gotta rush. Okay, so then he's gonna like throw clothing on real fast, brush some teeth, and then slap his shoes on, grab his bag, and run out the door, and like run over to the coffee shop.
All right. Unless anybody wants to do anything, I will say that you are all already there at the coffee shop, including Xander, have ordered. I think you would all have your coffees by now, and you're just sitting there waiting for Bobby to get there. You all know who runs the coffee shop. She's a very nice, it's a very nice couple, Diane and Ronette, very nice lesbian couple. You would all know that Diane is a shapeshifter, and she is Diane Ravenwood of the Ravenwoods that started this university. Her wife, Ronette, is a human woman, but they're both lovely. They know about monsters. Damon, they're very friendly with you. You frequent this shop, so they know you very well. So they make small talk with you as you're ordering, as they're making your coffee and that sort of thing, just checking in how you're doing. They're very, very excited to see that you are hanging out with other people. And Bobby comes rushing in.
Hi guys. Sorry, I'm late. I just saw the message. I woke up a little late this morning. Hi. Hi. What's going on?
Coffee!
Why?
Hey,
Morning.
Amity probably would have had like 1 sip and then gone like hyperactive child and would have been asking a lot of questions about coffee and like, what does that machine do? What does this machine do? Like, how do you like what's a mocha? Like all these crazy questions, and that's probably where Amity will be when Bobby pulls up.
Oh gosh. Oh, you got a lot of energy this morning. Cool.
Order some
hi.
coffee. This is amazing. This ambrosia must be drank.
Yeah, it's got caffeine in it. Okay. Yeah. Hi. Can I get like a latte with like the maple syrup? Syrup. Hi guys. What's up? Morning. What's with the cafe? This is good. Hi.
Amity wanted to get coffee, and we figured we could meet one more time about the project.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I finished my part when I got back to my room. Did you guys finish your stuff? Are we all good?
I think so. I think we're all ready to go for next week, so maybe we can take out some time at the end of this week or before class and just sort of run it all through, do a quick little test run, and that would be good.
Yeah, okay. And Amity, we should probably put together some sort of script or something now that we've kind of done all of our sort of research, right? Would that help you?
Amity will dive into their school bag, pull out just like this absurd, unorganized stack of things and just like slam it down on the table and slide it towards Bobby. And there's just a bunch of random marker and drawings of werewolves and some of you. And then I imagine there's some nice charcoal ones from Mika in there as well. And we have drawn pictures. And then they'll pull out like a notebook too with like the random thoughts of the project, the script so far.
Well, that's cool. Great job. What, did you guys get together or something? That's cool.
Mika helped, yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, well, that's awesome. Wow, cool. Oh, Damon, sorry for not reaching out last night. I was busy, and then I kind of fell asleep, so I'm sorry about that. I hope you weren't waiting up too long.
That's okay. I wasn't.
Okay, good.
did some work on the project, and Damon just sort of trails off, lost in his thoughts.
Xander is staring first at Bobby when he comes in pretty intently, as if like he knows. Almost. It seems like he's just staring at you. And then when Damon does that, he's then staring at you, Damon. And as you trail off, he's just like, did something happen? You seem freaked out.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
If that
That's
makes
not
sense.
an answer.
You okay?
And then he sort of like straightens up, takes a really quick sip of his coffee. I found Carter's body last night.
Wait, like,
The kid that went missing.
but didn't they already find it?
Did we not find him by the lake? I remember his name being said.
Maybe they're both his body. I can't say for sure whose body it was at the lake. Last night found Carter's body.
Perhaps the body was stolen for some unholy ritual.
Maybe. That makes more sense than anything has in the past.
What did you do with the body of Carter?
Yeah. Did the cops come? What happened?
I told the RA. And I took the RA to exactly where I found the body, and it was gone. So I'm the only one who's seen it.
Stolen
Like-
once more.
Gone as in somebody took it, or gone as in someone picked, or gone as in it got up and left?
I'm not sure. When I took the RA back, the only evidence that was left was an imprint in the grass, as if something had been there. It could have been anything. But I saw his body, and it was twisted and mangled, and there were lots of open wounds all over his arms, and there was a strange sort of muddy black substance that seemed to be gripping onto his skin, holding him to the ground, something somehow attached to his body. And Damon kind of becomes aware that he's in a public space and sort of like looks over his shoulders, like, okay, is anybody else listening to this? And he gets in real close to the table. I touched it, and I think it was alive, whatever it was.
The body?
Are you sure this was real? I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff around, but like all that, and then it just kind of went away.
That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. I've been trying to piece this together in my head since I saw it last night. I can't even make heads or tails of it in my own head, so I'm not sure if that was real.
Okay.
Do you remember
So-
exactly where it was?
Yes.
Okay.
Was
Sorry,
there music?
Mika.
There was no music. No.
What were you gonna say, Mika? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, would it be a bit easier to tell if we knew whether or not the body by the lake was that body? Was his body?
Do
'Cause
you have anything of his that might smell like him?
No, I wasn't able to take anything.
Perhaps we could ask his girlfriend.
Yes.
my sister has been talking to her a lot.
If you can get something, I could tell you. Maybe if the smell's strong enough over at the spot still.
Okay. I'll
We should
see
go
what I
now.
can do.
We should go
What
to the
time?
spot now if
How
the
much-
smell might dissipate.
How much time do we have before class?
We probably have to go to class though. I mean, that hour or two is not going to make much of a difference. I mean, at this point.
I'm
Uh.
I am open to the idea of skipping class to make sure that this is real, that this happened. I don't want to force you guys to come along with me, but this is something that's been eating away at me since I saw it last night.
I mean, you're okay. Fine, I'll come. You're like really upset.
think-
Yeah,
I will
I
make
think
this
we
deal.
gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
yeah.
As much as attendance is important, I don't think skipping one class will kill us.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we got our presentation together. Like, let's just go. Let's go see if we can parse this out.
Dr. Lila
Okay.
is dealing with this problem. Surely she will be happy if we answer it for her.
Oh yeah, Dr. Lila's in on it too.
Right.
Maybe I can talk with her. All right, are you guys ready? Do you want to take your coffee to go, or like are we ready to go?
Coffee has been paid for, and I have got the cups. And obviously, the coffee is in the cups, but like to Amity, they're like different things.
Yeah, what is it with you and the cups? Like the cups last time from like the trash, and how like is that?
I'm learning that you can't even say it with a straight face. I'm learning. I think Amity is like too hyped up. I'm learning the human ritual of coffee.
Oh, okay. Well, you're doing just fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, if we wanna, I think we should go like now, because like
Yeah,
there's
okay.
a dead body.
Yeah. Let's go. Come on.
Mhm. As we're leaving, is the hickey obvious?
I mean, I did put it on my neck for a reason. Yeah.
I think Mika.
He has no idea it's there. He got up. He rushed out. He has no clue. Yeah.
And realizing this, I think Mika would tap Bobby on the shoulder and just like whisper
Yeah,
into
what's
his
up?
ear and be like, "Do you have like a? Can you like put up the collar, or do you have a scarf or something? You've
Well,
got."
why?
And she would just tap like the spot on her neck where the hickey is.
What?
Amity will see that and go, "You have been
Something?
wounded. There is a wound upon your neck.
What are you talking about?
We must take you to the hospital.
What are you talking about? I feel fine.
Your flesh,
Let's
it's rotting
go.
off of you."
Damon, what?
And
Are they
they'll come
okay?
and like poke at it. Does
Amity,
that hurt?
No. What?
And Damon
What?
pulls out his phone and sort of turns the camera to the self-facing camera and kind of puts it at an angle where Bobby can see his own neck.
What are you talking? Oh my God! Oh.
Oh, it's worse than we thought. We must take him to the hospital right away.
So you had fun last night.
Okay, let's go. Look for a dead body. Okay.
This is not a wound worthy of concern.
no,
Let's
Amity.
go. Okay.
Mika
well.
is also holding back laughter.
Yeah.
The five of you, after having Bobby hide his new hickey, move to the area following Damon where the dead body was found. Damon, it's left in the same condition as it was.
And so I take everybody right up to the point where the grass was indented, and I sort of gesture to Bobby. It was right here. It was right. This is where the body was.
Oh, okay. Alright, and he'll like try to partially transform his face, get that werewolf sense going, and then just like sniff around. And does he like? Can he smell like a people smell, or like a weird smell, or corpsey?
Yeah. It's more of a weird smell, corpse
Okay.
smell, but there is still something kind of distinct that sets it apart from other smells.
All right. I will
You're not
gaze into the abyss. I want as much as I can get out of this.
okay.
I should roll some dice then.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
All right. That is a 6 and a 2. So that is an 8 with volatile. So volatile is that a +2 for me? What is
Gaze into the abyss is dark, actually.
Oh, it's dark? Oh, I thought it was volatile. Okay. So that is a 7.
Okay. What specifically are you looking for?
I want to know if Damon is crazy, and then I want to get any information about what was here as much as possible.
Okay. As you're sniffing, it being so close to the full moon, to the time when you have no control over your transformation, it kind of hits you like a ton of bricks, and there's all these scents that are confusing. This monster inside of you starts to really come out. And for a second, you almost lose control of yourself. That's really scary. You're not used to that. But you fight through it, and you're able to realize that there definitely was something there. And the scent there's a scent trail that seems thus far a little unbroken. There's a second scent that is mixed with it. You don't know what it is, really. But it's a familiar scent to you. The second scent. The trails back towards main campus, if you were to choose to follow it.
I would.
Okay. Do the rest of you follow with him?
Yeah. Damon's
follow,
right
yeah.
behind Bubby.
All right. It takes you to the administration building.
Huh. I will note
takes
that
you-
I do want to point out that my face is like partially transformed, and we're going with like Werewolf of London, like monster makeup transformation. So as like weirdly grotesque and slightly erotic as we can possibly go. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anywhere else, this would be bizarre. However, all of you attend a school for monsters. Some of you are not from this realm or have been around monsters most of your life. But Damon, even for you, who's not used to this stuff, you've been at this school a while now. So for the most part, you're pretty unfazed. All of you are just kind of like, all right, yeah, this is happening now. You continue into the administration building. The trail seems to lead down the hallway. You reach Dr. Lila's office, and the scent seems to lead to a door just next to her office.
Is there a nameplate on the door?
Seems like it's like a supply closet or something. You don't really know.
Try the handle.
Yeah, is it locked?
It is unlocked.
Ooh, then I'd like to open it.
You open the door. It is this storage room with lots of boxes, dust on some, that sort of thing. There's a door to your left from standing in the doorway. There's a path for you to go in. It's not that crowded, so you could definitely walk in. There's a door that seems to indicate that it would lead to Dr. Lila's office. They're adjoining rooms.
Does like the scent waft in that direction or the other direction?
It wafts towards the back of this supply closet.
Oh, well, let's go to the back of the supply closet.
Is there any noise on the other side of Dr. Lila's door?
Nope. And at this point, class has started.
That's right.
So Dr. Lila is not in her office. You all go inside the room. Do you close the door behind you?
I hope so.
Amity would not think to do it.
That is up to
Mika
y'all. If
would.
one of y'all decides to, then you do.
Mika's more in the middle, but she would probably look back to Xander, thinking about it. Probably would like hear some sort of like footsteps off in the distance and be like, this is probably a bad idea to have anyone walk by and see us all stuffed into a supply closet. And she would sort of motion for Xander to close the door.
Xander would like, oh, yeah, and close the door. He'd be in the very back. So, Bobby, this scent that's wafting, you follow it. There's boxes haphazardly stacked, but there seems to be this kind of clear path forward. There's this row of boxes that you get to in the back. But it stops at a certain point, and there's like just enough room for a person to like walk around the corner. But these boxes are high; you can't see over them. As you turn to this gap, however, your eyes adjusting to the dark, probably the fastest out of anyone because of the transformation. It takes you just a second before you see a gnarled, crumpled, broken hand just peeking out behind the boxes. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Oh my god.
Of course.
Oh man.
I went a little longer because I really wanted to get you to a
Birthday.
cliffhanger point.
Oh, what a good cliffhanger.
Yeah, those are
We're
good
going
stuff.
to be off for 2 whole weeks because I unfortunately will be gone. So I figured a big cliffhanger would be best.
Gosh.
So I hope you all will bear with me and come back to see, the resolution or continuation of this cliffhanger and mystery. Yes, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you to our audience, everyone who interacted in the chat, who watches. It means so much to us. It means so much to the channel. It means so much to me to have people who watch this. And I couldn't do it without my wonderful, wonderful players. Thank you to each and every one of you. I'm so enjoying this story. It's such a great experience with y'all. To wrap things up, we will be off for the next 2 weeks because unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm traveling and will not have access to reliable Wi-Fi. So to MC a game is just not really possible. But we will hopefully be returning that week and then get on a normal schedule of doing every other Thursday at the same time. I have been your Mistress of Ceremonies, Abby Marie Carter. I am an LA-based aspiring actor and all-around huge nerd, especially when it comes to TTRPGs. If you want to get in contact with me, I'm on Instagram at Abby_Marie_Carter, and I promise I will start posting on that account soon for those of you who follow it. I do check it, I promise. If you would like to actually talk with me, I'm on Mistress Winter's Discord with the name Abby Marie Carter. Yes, if you want to see more of what I do, I'm on The Facet every single Monday. I play a character named Ahira. who is a doll come to life, who has magic and fights with a giant needle spear, who I keep traumatizing every single week. So if you're interested in that, please come watch that. It hurts me too, Stouffer, I promise.
So rough. So rough.
But yes, that's about sums it up for me. Let's go with Stouffer.
I'm Stouffer. I played Amity, and if you want to find me, I'll be in Mistress Winter's Court. Discord. That's
Thank you so much, Stouffer. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for being here tonight. It's wonderful as always. I love Amity so much. She makes my heart just. She's so cute. They are so cute. Pronouns, sorry.
No worries. So I have a reason. I keep slipping up, so I've kind of been making a reason for that maybe we'll get into.
Well, there you go. And let's go over to Emma now.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Emma, aspiring voice actress and TTRPG content creator. You can find me doing a ton of stuff over at Tabletop Tailspinners Network, where I am the founder and creative director. And namely, we have our podcast Chronicles of Kriath that I DM that releases every other Sunday. So if you want to catch up on that, we have released 52 episodes now. So there's plenty of bingeable content there for you. But you can find us on any social media at Tabletop Tailspinners. And I look forward to playing Mika the Infernal for you for more weeks to come.
Thank you so much, Emma. As usual, super wonderful to have you. Thank you so much. Alex, how about you?
Hey everyone, I'm Alex. I'm playing Damon Fullerton in this campaign, our ghost, and you can find me under that same name in Mistress Winter's Court Discord server. And I am gonna be ripping my hair out about this cliffhanger for the next 2 weeks. I don't know about you guys, but yes. I will very much be looking forward to next session.
Yay, that's what I want. Thank you so much, Alex. And last but certainly not least, Juicy.
Hi, I'm Juicy Garland, Boston area drag queen and super nerd. I am playing our resident werewolf, Bobby Gunderson. You can find me on the twitter.com at juicygarland, one word. You can find me on Instagram at juicy.garland. You can find me locally in Boston on July 8th playing Dungeons & Dragons with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. You can just look at me on my Twitter if you want to find out where those tickets are. I'm very excited to play that with them. And of course, and also I am on the Cybernation Uncensored Friday nights on their Twitch channel playing Cyberpunk Red.
Thank you so much, Juicy. And thank you so much to Winter, who runs tech for me and is our producer and created the wonderful, wonderful intro video that y'all see every single time, which is simply amazing. So thank you so much, Winter. Yes, and I will send it over to you for the sign-off for the channel.
Thank you so much, Abby, and thank you to our wonderful cast. You are all fantastic. And ultimately, thank you so much to our viewers who enjoy this content and come back every week to share these stories with us as we present them live to you. We will. This show will be out for 2 weeks. We have, I believe, one more episode of The Facets, unless Abby is not able to make it. One more week before we take a week break for the 4th of July week, and then we will be back shortly after that. Hopefully we will also be bringing back our Tabletop Tuesdays. We only had a few episodes of those before things just got a little too busy and I wasn't able to keep up with it, but hopefully we will get that going again as well. I am also excited to be a part of some other projects that are going on, including OKSDM's beta test, live beta tests of the Saga system. It is a really simple, very math-light system that we are developing, or I'm helping to develop, he's creating. It's going to be a great time, so keep an eye out for when we will be presenting that on this channel as well. I am also going to be working with Emma and the Tabletop Tailspinners to produce a Monster Hearts podcast. More information to come about that. But until then, I have been your producer and tech runner for this show, Mistress Winter. You can find me at gmistresswinter on Twitter and Instagram. I am a writer, speaker, aspiring voice actress, all-around TTRPG hobbyist. There we go. All the acronyms. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate you. Hope you have a great couple of weeks, and we will see you back at the court when we come back. Have a good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Night.